Odd things began happening in her home in Michigan, so this mother decided she'd figure out what was going on. It all started with strange noises she heard at night. However, it turns out she was way off. She was sure her fiance was to blame for everything, but she was wrong. Hello, story lovers. I'm Scott Leffler, and here is the terrifying reason her baby woke up with scratches on the face. Before we move on, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and activate the notifications bell for new amazing videos. She had had enough. The only thing that she could do was watch the footage. However, she was totally unprepared for what she found. She and her husband set up a baby monitor to record what was really happening in their daughter's room. This mother refused to believe that her little angel scratched herself at night. However, Joshua said that he had no idea what was going on when asked about it. This woman got ready to look at the footage. She was prepared to catch her fiance in the act. However, her skin began to crawl when she saw that it was not him on tape. You see, Heather Bro and Joshua Higgins had been living in a Michigan guest house. The place was owned by his mother. They had a 1-year-old daughter named Lily. This small family had been staying there for more than a year when something made them want to change their address as soon as possible. It all started when Heather took her daughter out of the crib and saw that there were scratches on her face. In the beginning, Heather did not think much about it. However, things changed when more marks started to appear on Lily's face after the first ones had healed. The only thing to do now was to talk to him about it. She and Josh had a great relationship and lived together. They were a young couple living in a quiet town. Their dreams were coming true, and everything seemed to be going well for Joshua and Heather. They were in a happy relationship, had a sweet little girl, and lived in a nice little home. Everything changed all of a sudden, however. Heather had been sleeping when she began to hear weird noises in the house. They sounded like the door squealing, thumps on the floor, and even footsteps in the kitchen. How strange. She decided that she had to solve the mystery when she found the strange scratches on her baby girl's face. Heather talked to her fiance to see if he'd been the one who was making all the racket at night. She also asked him if he went to Lily's room the night before that. She wanted to know if he knew what happened to Lily's face. Was this the end of their fairy tale love story? Things started to get tense between these two. Joshua denied everything, and Heather wanted to catch him in the act. She didn't know that she would end up finding something even worse than what she had in mind. The only thing on her mind was that she needed to find a solution to the predicament. Joshua denied everything that she said. Heather started to wonder if she was only going crazy and imagining it all. She thought that maybe an animal found a way inside the house. However, she was confident that she always kept the windows and doors closed before heading off to bed. It must have been someone or something that was in the house already. She knew that this could be the end of her relationship with her fiance, so it was up to her to get the answers to this mystery. Finally, they bought a baby monitor to keep an eye on Lily. Made sure that it was at an angle that focused on her crib. Joshua was pretty sure that their daughter was scratching herself in her sleep and said that babies grazed their faces with their nails. They proved his theory wrong, since it still kept happening even though Heather made sure to trim Lily's nails after the first incident. Weird. It goes without saying that Heather was not ready for the truth. Since she was desperate to get to the bottom of things, she set it all up. The couple purchased a Logitech Circle 2, a state-of-the-art baby monitor that came with night vision. They hoped that it would help them solve the mystery. And sure enough, they found more scratches on their daughter's face when the morning rolled in. They checked the footage to figure out what had happened. However, Heather realized that her house was not what she thought it was after watching the video. They saw the blurry figure of a man in her bedroom. Heather thought that her theory was right. Joshua must have been walking around the house at night while she was sleeping. However, why did he lie to her and keep this a secret? Was it a joke? Maybe he'd been sleepwalking. She had to continue watching the footage to get to the bottom of things. However, the next thing that happened shook her to her core. The shadow walked past the crib. Lily must have been aware that there was someone in the room since she sat upright. What did the baby do next? Lily then held the side of her crib, pulled herself into a standing position, and looked around. The man then turned toward the monitor. That was the moment that Heather figured out that the man was not who she thought it was. Heather couldn't breathe for a moment. Her heart started to pound loudly when she realized that this person was a complete stranger. She was unable to tear her eyes off the screen as she watched the intruder some more. The stranger continued to roam around the room. Heather's stomach was in knots. At this point, she only wanted to know who this man was. We wonder if she felt relieved to have figured out the source of the strange noises she heard at night, as well as the scratches on her daughter's face. She replayed the clip several times. At one point, the person became entirely transparent when he moved by the little girl. And that was the moment when it hit her at last. Heather could not have been looking at a man or a human. Heather got goosebumps and pulled Lily closer to her. She had to talk to Joshua about it. More importantly, they had to get out of there. He watched the video and said it was chilling. It was literally a chill down your spine. Like, what if factor. Is this what I just saw? Heather explained. Seeing Lily's face with the scratches was so bizarre and frightening. Heather also said, I was crying. What happened to you? I grabbed her jacket and ran over to my mother-in-law's house. Nobody knew what happened. We wondered if she'd scratched herself, but when we put our hands up to the scratches, it didn't match up. After they watched the footage, Joshua was also terrified. He could feel a ball of terror inside of him. The man of the family was scared out of his wits and knew that they had to move out right away. He immediately went outside with his wife and daughter. They got in touch with the police as well. He was told to get in touch with the Scientific Paranormal Investigations of Michigan. What he learned from them made him even more fearful. Mike Priest, the co-owner of Scientific Paranormal Investigations of Michigan, deployed a team to check out the house. However, the discovery only made Heather and Joshua feel more determined to get out of there. When they checked out the evidence, they reached the conclusion that not only was the main house haunted, but also so was the guest house that was connected to it. There were more strange things that happened there. During an interview, Heather narrated, I woke up to get ready for work one morning and it felt like someone was choking me. She went on, it shook me to the point where I decided to buy our camera. Heather knew that her husband would not believe her, so she didn't tell him about it right away. She shared, there have been times when me and my fiance would wake up in the morning and I would hear an angry male voice, like someone had stubbed their toe. I definitely believe there's something going on at this house, confirmed Mike Priest. We're looking forward to checking out this one as well. According to him, he and the team recorded weird sounds in the house. They visited the house at the behest of the family. We heard something say, oh, here we go, oh yeah. I heard it plain as day, recalled Mike. He brought his team to the house and they're set to return soon. They want to do a proper paranormal investigation of the property. Mike said that the goal was to see if they could find a way to replicate the footage or at least arrive at a rational explanation. They can only chalk it up to the supernatural after failing to do these things. He only wants to figure out what the camera recorded in the room. Chris, Joshua's mom, has been the owner of the house for 11 years already. It was possible that she had some idea what was haunting them. I was told when we bought the house 11 years ago, the lady who owned the property died in the main house, she explained. It's an old farmhouse, and according to her niece, she fell down the stairs, broke her hips, and laid there for a very long time before she passed away. She said that the guest house was built for the lady's brother who was schizophrenic, she recounted. Jim, Joshua's dad, had another theory in mind. He's convinced that the man terrorizing his son and daughter-in-law is an old tenant of the guest house. This is what he told WXYZ TV Detroit. The gentleman that lived here originally jumped out this window, which is one story down. Even though Heather and Joshua are not closer to figuring out who it is, they at least know what to do about the situation. It scares us that it could do something else, Heather said. She also added, it's not physically just going after her. It feels like it's going after myself too. This has made us want to leave as soon as possible. As soon as possible, we're out of here. This is a spirit. I don't know what its intentions are, but at this point, it's becoming physically harmful. The video, which the couple published on social media, went viral and creeped out a lot of internet users. But there were also skeptics. Some folks did not think that the video showed an apparition. If you ask this group of people, there's a simple and rational explanation for what the couple caught on tape. Kenny Biddle of the Skeptical Inquirer gave his 2 cents and said, there's something else I noticed right away. The ghost was casting a shadow. 2, actually. This tells me the figure is a solid, physical object able to reflect light. In the first milliseconds of the video, as the figure is moving to the left, you can see its shadow move across the ceiling right by the ceiling fan. He continued, I would surmise either Heather and or Joshua have been watching television and had reason to get up out of bed, perhaps to go down to the kitchen for food or drink, or a visit to the bathroom. Paused the video and walked across the room, not realize they were being recorded. At a later, unspecified time, they reviewed the footage and, due to a lack of understanding of video cameras, concluded the distorted figure was a ghost, he said. But where did the scratches on Lily's face come from? Aside from the technical issues, it's not uncommon for babies to scratch themselves. We know from her statements that Heather discovered the scratches after waking the baby up from a nap, he also said. He expounded, but there's nothing to rule out the possibility Lily scratched herself while sleeping. After digging deeper into his story, Kenny found an interesting piece of information. I'm not sure exactly what the motivation behind these claims is, but I do have my suspicions, he shared. I went to Heather Bro's Facebook page earlier today and noticed that she posted her first public post since November of 2018. It was a link to a GoFundMe account she'd created that day, March 26, 2019, with a goal of $5,000. She was asking for this amount to help her move out of the guest house, citing her daughter's safety from all the paranormal activity as the main reason for the fundraising, he said. After this, Kenny reached out to Heather through Facebook. Hello, my name is Kenny Biddle, and I've been investigating paranormal claims for the last 20+ years. Your video of what is believed to be a ghost walking in your house was brought to my attention by several paranormal groups, the message read. Wondering. After taking a look at it, I was wondering if there's a longer clip. Perhaps footage showing the few minutes leading up to and including this clip that was showed on ABC Action News. The clip that's been shared starts with the figure already in motion, and I was hoping to see where it originates, he followed up. He ended the message by saying, I noticed the TV was on, so being able to confirm it wasn't someone living watching TV and perhaps got up to get something would be beneficial. I'm not saying this was a hoax, I'm just trying to get as much information as possible to understand what the video is showing. I appreciate your time in reading this. I hope to hear back from you. Have a good day. Kenny has said that Heather has yet to respond to his inquiry. Did you like the story? Check out our channel for more.